Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to Rebecca's Acne Strategies podcast, where we get serious about skin health. So, in today's episode, I felt very called to talk to you guys about money. Things are just stupid expensive right now, and I realize that making investments in one's health is a really tricky thing for people to do right now, just because we're paying for let me back up. We're paying astronomical amounts for things like our groceries, our gas, supplements, skincare, stuff for kids, sports, all of this stuff that comes with having a family life. Like, life is expensive. And I know, like, many of you who are listening to this right now, you're living in Canada, and Canada in general is a super expensive place to live, and it's getting worse and worse every day. And I am also in Canada. I live in the Greater Toronto area. I'm about an hour outside of the downtown core of Toronto. So like you, I am feeling these effects of the inflation. And like you, I've gone through health challenges and health challenges and things that I needed support on, like coaching programs and all of that. I've been through it in my own way. So this is just me trying to relate to all of you and show you that I truly understand the stress that comes along with making an investment in your health, right? And I mean, when we're talking about making an investment in your health, whether that's working with somebody like myself, a functional nutrition practitioner, or maybe you're working with a naturopath, or you're working with an osteopath, or whatever your health concern is that you're working with the practitioner for, a good coach or a good practitioner should be making their program slash services in such an effective way that you only have to make that investment once. Hopefully that makes sense. Because I know that's the goal for me. Like, I don't want you spending tons and tons of money with me. I want you going through my program, the Natural Acne Protocol, and going from somebody who is seriously acne prone to somebody who is acne prone but is not breaking out all the time, and you're confident in your skin, and you're confident with your food choices, and you're just confident with everything with one investment. And that's literally only the business side, right? So I'm on a bit of a tangent at the moment, but I get it. Okay, I get how making an investment in your health can be a really scary thing. And I think if I tell you, I'll go into detail on my own experience in terms of like paying for coaching, because I have done that. I didn't necessarily do it for health. I did it from like a business perspective, to help me get the back end of my program up and running. I tried to do it on my own. I tried for over a year to do everything on my own to get my business set up and running. And I am talking about my nutrition business, like Rebecca's Acne Strategies nutrition business. I needed help. I didn't know how. I'm not a techie person. I'm a nutritionist. Okay, I'm not a techie person. And I needed help. I didn't know how to set up customer or client management software. I didn't know how to set up much in the way of like automated emails. I didn't know how to do all of this. I didn't know how to build an online hosted program on my own. I needed help to do it. And the only time, like, how do I explain this? I did not invest in the coaching until I got to a point where I was like, I can't do this. I can't. I literally cannot do this on my own. I actually need the help. So the choice was keep spinning my wheels and trying to figure out how to do it on my own and getting all frustrated and feeling like I'm going nowhere, which I know a lot of us do with our acne at the same time. That's why I'm telling you this. Or the other choice would be to admit defeat, except it's not defeat. Admit to the fact that I needed help and accept the fact that I needed to pay somebody who knew better. I needed to pay somebody who knew better to help me get everything set up. And so that's what I did. And I don't want you comparing yourself to me, really, but I am going to tell you this because I want to relate to you in terms of making an investment in coaching. The amount of money that I spent on my business coach was astronomical compared to what I'll speak for myself. I don't want to speak for any other practitioners. I'll speak for myself. My cost for coaching was astronomical compared to what you would pay me to be in the natural acne protocol, to go through that, by thousands of dollars. So the reason that I'm telling you this is just because, like, I want to relate to you. I want you to know that I have also gone through a similar experience where I felt the need to pay my hard-earned money to somebody who knew better than me. And I know that's where a lot of you out there are right now with your health journey, because you've been spinning your wheels for so long and you're frustrated and you feel like you're just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping that something sticks. And then when it doesn't, you're once again in that feeling of defeat. And it's so cyclical. And I believe, honestly, that I was put on this earth to help women come out of that cycle and just be happy and healthy and feeling good with clear skin, so that you can do what you want to do in life and your skin is not holding you back. I firmly believe that that's why I was put on this earth. So anyway, that's my experience, and hopefully it resonates with you. And I really hope that you know how much I empathize with how you're feeling about spending money on your health, because I know it's scary. And like I said before, like, the goal of a good practitioner is to make sure that you as the client are making that investment once, right? Like, that's the goal. Your permanent success is the goal. Okay. So that's why it's really important that if you are considering working with a practitioner, that you are working with a practitioner who has a system, who has something built that they will guide you through, because that way you know that they have a process in place. They have a system in place for you. They have education and resources in place for you. And that way it just creates that much more safety net for you as the client so that you don't fail. That is the goal of working with a practitioner that has a program in place for you to follow. Okay. And that brings me to my next point as well, is that it's really important that you search for a practitioner that offers one-on-one coaching. And that's because, again, it's an added safety net. It's like, you need to be able to ask the practitioner that you're working with questions all the time. There needs to be open communication. I don't know how many of you here's a great example. I don't know how many of you have spent money on like a self-guided kind of program with a nutrition practitioner. I see it all the time online. There are many practitioners who offer these things where you may spend, $30 or $40 and they'll send you, a month-long meal plan. They'll send you supplement recommendations and, things that you can do for like lifestyle and self-care that are supposed to help with your acne. But they don't offer any sort of like one-on-one coaching. And then, so you're purchasing this little mini protocol for yourself, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Like I've talked to so many people in my time working with women who have acne, where they tell me, oh yeah, I downloaded this PDF from another nutritionist and it had like really good detail in it, but I feel like I can't ask her questions, and like I have questions about the specific supplements and I can't find a specific supplement, and I don't like particular food items in the meal plan, but I can't talk to them to get substitutes and ask if the substitute that I want to use is safe, and on and on and on and on. I could go on and on because I've heard this so often in my time as a nutritionist, and I think that that's a big problem. So that's why this is ultimately why I'm telling you that working with a practitioner who offers one-on-one sessions is going to be key to helping you with your acne. So yeah. That's all I can really say about working with practitioners. And I'll go back to the original point of this podcast, which is that investments in your health are incredibly scary. However, I can also offer you maybe a change in perspective about investing in your health, because the psychology behind making an investment, really any investment for that matter, I'm not specifically talking about health in this example, is that when there is a financial investment made towards something, your level of commitment is that much higher because you've made that investment. You've made a personal investment in something, and that heightens the level of commitment attached to that particular program, item, thing, whatever you've invested in. And I just personally think that can be used to your advantage, depending on how you look at it, okay? It's all about perspective. If you say to yourself, okay, I am going to invest my hard-earned money into an acne program to help my skin, then I'm going to stick to it. I've paid for it. I'm going to stick to it. Okay? There's a great level of commitment there. And then once you start noticing all of the benefits of the techniques that the practitioner is teaching you in their program, you start to feel great. Your skin is going to start to clear up. Your digestion's going to be better. You're probably going to be sleeping better. You're going to feel excellent. And that's going to motivate you even more to stick with the program and to keep learning and to keep pushing forward and to keep getting to know your body. Hopefully that makes sense, right? So it's all really about how you look at an investment in your health, okay? Because that investment is going to cascade into something really, really great, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. And now I'm going to stop selling my program because that I don't do very often in my content, if you've been following me for a while. This podcast is created to give you actionable steps for free, okay? Actionable steps that you can do every day for yourself to help move the needle forward in your skin health. That is why I created this podcast. It is not to sell my program. So I want to give you 3 strategies that you can use to help you save money while at the same time doing things that are really good for your body in terms of food, lifestyle, and supplement choices, okay? So the first thing that I teach my clients in the Natural Acne Protocol is how important it is to make grocery lists and stick to them. So, have you ever heard the saying, don't grocery shop when you're hungry? That is solid advice in my book. Don't go to the grocery store hungry. And before you do go to the grocery store, make yourself a list and stick to that list. Okay? That is going to help you so much in terms of saving money when you go to the grocery store, because you're not going to be, willy-nilly shopping all over the place. You're not going to be tossing stuff into your carts. You're going to be, okay, this is my list. Check, 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 check. Got all my stuff, and now I'm going home to prep it all. Okay, that's the goal. I do this personally as well. I never go to the grocery store without a list because, like you, groceries are astronomical in price. So I'm conscious of that too. So that's tip number 1. The second tip that I'm going to add. Utilize places like Costco, especially if you have a family. Costco is really coming up in terms of like healthy food offerings. I am impressed with Costco. So go there for like your dry items. So your nuts, your seeds, those are really good. You can get like larger packs of kombucha if you're a kombucha kind of person. Just mainly dry stuff. I don't love their produce. That's just me. I don't love their produce because they never have organic stuff, and there's just items that I really prefer to buy organic myself. So I don't love their produce, but still a really good place to shop to kind of stretch your money. It doesn't seem like it when you go in there and you have to spend $400 on your grocery bill, but those food items last. So you're not buying them like every week, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. If it doesn't, leave me a comment and we can chat about it. So yes, utilize places like Costco and Bulk Barn if you're in Canada. I don't know if they have Bulk Barn in the US or wherever you are, but in Canada we have like bulk stores and they're fantastic. Utilize those. Bring your own containers so that you don't have to use the gross plastic bags. And you can definitely save money that way as well. Okay, my second tip, and this one is my favorite. Meal prep. Meal prep, meal prep, meal prep. Okay, so you've gone to the grocery store with your list. You've gotten everything on your list. Now take it home and spend an hour with it. Okay, spend an hour, chop up your veg, chop up your fruit, get everything washed, stick it in containers, and there's your snacks for the week. Okay, they're done. You don't have to think about them again. You just pull them out of the fridge. And then when you're making meals for yourself, and this is especially convenient if you have kids who are in sports 7 days a week, okay? Batch cook your stuff. Get a bunch of chicken thighs or a bunch of turkey sausages or whatever it is that you're going to eat. Stick them in your slow cooker. Create a huge batch of it, and then portion it out. Stick it in the fridge. It's done. It's done. And then all you have to do, grab the containers, stick it in the oven for a few minutes to heat it up, and you're good to go. Okay? Grab and go meals. This is where I feel like a lot of women really get hung up in spending money on food, is because evenings are so busy that it's so difficult to get home and like make a solid meal for yourself and your kids, that you just end up kind of like grabbing bars at the grocery store, or, grabbing snacks for the kids here, grabbing snacks for yourself there, blah, blah, blah. So much money ends up getting spent in these areas where it doesn't necessarily have to be that way, when you can just spend an hour on a Sunday. I like to do it on Sundays. That's just me. You can choose whatever day you want. But if you can spend an hour with your groceries, chop them up, wash them, slow cook them and portion them out, stick them in the fridge, everything is ready for you when you get home. You don't have to battle with food, right? Hopefully that makes sense. Ask me questions in the comments if anything is coming up for you right now. And then the last tip that I want to give you It's kind of an interesting one, and it will have to kind of be determined by your food preferences. But something that I personally really like to do is stretch my food. So let's say I am making a pasta dish for the week. Obviously, I'm going to have my sauce, I'm going to have my veggies, I'm going to have my noodles, whatever I'm putting in. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the last time I made a pasta dish like this, or I would tell you all the ingredients in it and let you go for it. But what I like to do with dishes like that is add a protein to them, because I'm always trying to find ways of like adding protein to the things that I eat. So what I like to do is like pop a can of black beans or chickpeas or something into that pasta dish. So one, it's going to make that pasta dish bigger. It's going to add more volume to it. And it's going to make me eat less noodles, first off, because there's bean replacement. There's more calories and more food, more solid food ending up in my dish for me to eat, that I'm eating less noodles. And it's added protein to that dish, right? It's adding volume to that dish in a protein heavy kind of way. So it's things like that that you can do. Oh, here's another one for you. I also like adding quinoa to my oats in the morning. So I will like cook up my oats and do whatever I'm going to do, and then I'll throw in some cooked quinoa into my mixture of oats and berries or whatever it is that I have in my oats that day. That's that. And there's a few grams of added protein in there. It's stretching out my oats, because my oats are expensive. I only use glyphosate-free oats, so they're much more expensive than buying just like the cheap Quaker stuff. So I just find that adding the nicely flavored quinoa is a really good way to stretch out my oats and make them last a little bit longer and give me more protein in the process. So those are some of my favorite things to do to stretch my grocery bills. Hopefully they end up helping you too. If you have any questions about this, leave a question in the comments, whatever you need to do. You can reach out to me by email as well if you want to. I believe the link in my bio has my email address. If it's not there, I'll double check when I end this video, but if it's not there, just leave me a comment and I'll send my email address over to you. And that's that. We will see you in the next one. Talk soon.